Welcome to Gambian Talents Promotion, the Gambia's first non-profit online public broadcasting network and home of culture and entertainment. At GTP, we bring you the best of Gambian creativity right to your doorsteps. Sell your products and services to millions of Gambians and friends of the Gambia via our online radio, TV, and newspaper. Advertise your business and watch your clientele grow like never before. Our content from the Gambia gets the diaspora hooked up to our screen, whilst those in Gambia love what we bring for them from afar. This gives us a unique edge and separates us from the rest. If you want to be heard or seen by the world, contact GTP. We tap, nurture, and promote Gambian talents and businesses. Think promotion, think GTP. For all your event coverages, religious gatherings, naming ceremonies, weddings, documentaries, music videos, TV and radio commercial, and more. We also do design and print jobs of all types, logos, business cards, brochures, flyers, t-shirts, coffee mugs, banners, billboards, catalogs, and magazines. We also do lamination and projector rentals. We are the first Gambian non-profit online public broadcasting network with over 300,000 active followers across all social media. Contact GTP on 750-3654, 750-3654 or 794-9214, 794-9214, 404-593-6215 or email us at gambiantalents@gmail.com. GTP, the people.
Hey yo, Gambian Talents, seen TV bi neex na ñoo, wow, seen show yi neex na ñoo, yeah, seen TV bi rafet na, wow, Gambian Talents TV ñu dem nañ seetaan Gambian Talents
Gambian Talents dara du ko tee Gambian Talents
oh na
Turn by turn, everything in life is turn by turn. Brother man, relax and wait for your turn. Everything in life is done by God. Yeah. What's up, everybody? It's your boy Jizzle on this. You're now watching Gambian Talents TV. I'm representing all day, every day. Don't move. Keep it.
Gambian Talents Alekano Yenyala Mandi Apachaki Alaboy Nyancho Jollof Arts
Gambian Talents TV Nyunulela doku seneyata Gambia Talents TV Nyunulela doku betiata Gambia Nkala doku betiata Gambia Talents TV Nyunulela doku seneyata Gambia Talents TV Nyunulela doku betiata ye Gambia Nkala doku seneyata Yo Gambian Talents TV njalam alnal badi malam nene jeli suso bintele bale jantonko alkal Gambian Talents TV la moy every day and night TV la mi yalla nako mashallah ila diamol kabet yalla la promotional kabet yalla wow ala baraka ba
African Oriental Store Africa fii si biir America ñu ngi leen fi amal seasoning ak lépp loo leen nam biir Gambia diwtiir ak bagage ndekki yi ngeen soxla Can beef African Oriental Store andil na leen ko ci seen heavy boti ba tey it amal nañ leen netetu gerte noflaay yéet ndawal African Oriental Store nag mooy bitik bi nga xam ne lépp loo leen soxla mi ngi ci biir amal nañ leen maalo leket tame inde addi cuuraay waaye it fàttewuñ suñ góor yi nga xam ne ni den tële seen néegi sëy yi African Oriental Store indi na leen garab goo xam ne ni dina leen delloo seen kàttan ba tey it ñu ngi leen amal abaya dàll abaya boo munti xalaat bu jigéen ñu ngi ko fi am waaye it fàttewuñ góor ñi amal nañ leen xaftaan ñi amal nañ toobaan cuuraay African Oriental Store nag bagage yi nii fépp foo nekk si biir Canada bi ak US di nga ko mun a am ndaxte ñu ngi leen amal shipping African Oriental Store Africa si America fii si Everett Washington njaaxare jeex na
ni laftaka kodo mutaka bonang UK, Europe, USA, Canada, Switzerland ani nyimbanku tomal mu meto Supersonics le itadulate anada di masanji jama Gambia bankoka ise kodo tanole ibe dawo da birin katon fokoina andum batatije hade batatije ise kodo tanole ka bonam bantala bankol to birin UK, Europe, USA, Canada, Switzerland ani nyimbanku tomal mu beto na doku sone yata atariyata akoita andum allanna yata Gambia bankoka Supersonics le dinkiral siyata katambinyin tomal mu meti Supersonics be banku tan sabani nani le to fota findu bankol to dung ila Google Play Store to wala ila Apple app sign ye Supersonics la money transfer app o download porque ifa munafang na service olla
Semina Star di African place bu ñepp doon xaar képp ko bëgg sa taar wala bëgg sanse buy bëggal sa xol dawal foofu ci Semina Star amal nañ leen li di organic and body hair oil soap for hands and smooth face whitening soaps waaye tamit amal nañ leen li di hair spa cream for face and body with no chemicals all natural wow all natural laa leen wax de xanaa li neex na ba noppi waaye nag emuñ foofu rek ma ne xéewal day mat moo tax nag ñu amal leen lii di African clothes amal leen lii di baby carrier di mbootu ma ne ana yaay neene yu baax yi daw si leen gaaw amal nañ leen tamit lii di turban hats bonnet fancy face mask képp koo xamante ne nag bëgg nga am ñii di Semina Style mun nga leen a contact si seen email adresse bi di seminastyle@gmail.com wala nag foofu di seen website bi di seminastyle.com bagage yu yaañ yii nag amul ci benn African country jamono juñ toll nii waaye nag am na ci European countries yi ak American countries yi pour bégal sa xol rafetal sa taar dawal foofu si Semina Style rafetaay yépp ay feeñ
Ile mansana mandoko kajindi. Ile dipite na mandoko kajindi. Ni governo na mandoko kajindi. Babu karando funyaro dorong. Kuninu yangal tamalan ne mo nyaete. Sa te sungulu nali eja fue sakembo.
Shy Boy Production.
Ile mansana mandoko kajindi. Ile dipite na mandoko kajindi. Ani governo na mandoko kajindi. Babu karando funyaro dorong. Kuninu yangal tamalan ne mo nyaete. Sa te sungulu nali eja fue sakembo. Yonkolo nali mantong komuta sume kalala. Apa o nali mantong komuta sume tila. Usinga e bujang sambanjai barabai. Sa te kelo mambete sambanjai barabai. Alla intwa bukarang ulia dende fala. Pase kunyade te ulia dende fala.
Dike wala daw kono 360
Ajindi,
ila kano benin 360
ajindi,
pare wuli ya wani fake
ajindi.
ita kono fanyo nimba modoro
Nakebe soto bara kona kodo ajindi. Likili vula konye krediko ajindi. Ninga visit akonye sama ajindi. Na mekano sama da fila.
jajijo
Dusu dama yeso kule.
akenenele
Dusu dama yeso kule. Ina da fela korra ta ko yeso kule. Makadi seri boyo lori nyimbo nyokono.
na mekano
Ajindi,
limmekano
ajindi, ajindi,
na mekano
ajindi,
na mekano
ajindi,
limmekano
ajindi,
goldiga
ajindi,
na mekano
ajindi. Ile mansana mandoko kajindi. Duma. Ile dipite na mandoko kajindi. Ani governo na mandoko kajindi. Babu karando funyaro dorong. Kuninu yangal tamalan ne mo nyaete. Sa te sungulu nali eja fue sakembo. Yonkolo nali mantong komuta sume kanala. Apa o nali mantong komuta sume tila. Usinga e bujang sambanjai barabai. Sa te kelo mambete sambanjai barabai. Alla intwa bukarang ulia bende fala. Pase kunyade te ulia bende fala. Ajindi.
Shy Boy Production.
na bejindi rolela
Ile mansana mandoko kajindi. Ile dipite na mandoko kajindi. Ani governo na mandoko kajindi. Babu karando funyaro dorong. kunin new yangal tamalan ne mo nyaete sa de sumulu nali e ja fo sakembo jonkolo nali man ton ko mutasu be kanala apa o nali man ton ko mutasu be tila usinga e bujang sambanjai barabai sa de kelo mambe de sambanjai barabai alla intwa bukaram ulia bende fala pase kunya de ulia bende fala
All down on 360. Ila kano pen in 360. Party, William one in fake. Ida kono fanyo limba modoro.
Nake beso to bara kona kodo. Likili vula konye krediko. Minga en visit akonye sama. Na mekanu sama da sila.
Jajijo.
Dusu dama so cool.
Akenenele.
Dusu dama so cool. Ina da vela korda ta ko so cool. Baka di seri boyo lori nyimpo nyokono.
Na mekanu.
Jinni.
Mimekanu.
Jinni. Jinni.
Na mekanu.
Jinni.
Na mekanu.
Jinni.
Mimekanu.
Jinni. Jinni.
Na mekanu.
Jinni. Ila mansa na mandoku okejindi Duma ila dipite na mandoku okejindi Ani gofono na mandoku okejindi Tubabu karande ufunyaro dorong Kunin new yangal tamalan ni mo nyaite Sa de songulu nali heja fwe sakembo Yonkolo nali mantong kong mutasu mube kanala Apa o nali mantong kong mutasu mube tila Usinga e bujang sambanjai barawaj Sa de kelo mambete sambanjai barawaj Alla intwa bukarong ulia bende fala Pase kunyade de ulia bende fala Ajindi. Mutakala.
Shy Boy Production.
Nabe jindi roll la.
Ila mansa na mandoku okejindi Ila dipite na mandoku okejindi Ani gofono na mandoku okejindi Tubabu karande ufunyaro dorong Kunin new yangal tamalan ni mo nyaite Sa de songulu nali heja fwe sakembo Yonkolo nali mantong kong mutasu mube kanala Apa o nali mantong kong mutasu mube tila Usinga e bujang sambanjai barawaj Sa de kelo mambede sambanjai barawaj Alla intwa bukarong ulia bende fala Pase kunyade de ulia bende fala
All down on 360. Ila kano pen in 360. Party, William one in fake. Ida kono fanyo limba modoro.
Nake beso to bara kona kodo Likili vula konye krediko Minga en visit akonye sama Na mekanu sama da sila
Jajijo.
Dusu dama so cool.
Akenenele.
Dusu dama so cool. Ina da vela korda ta ko so cool. Baka di seri boyo lori nyimpo nyokono.
Na mekanu.
Jinni.
Mimekanu.
Jinni. Jinni.
Na mekanu.
Jinni.
Na mekanu.
Jinni.
Mimekanu.
Jinni. Jinni.
Na mekanu.
Jinni. ila mansana mandoku kajindi duma ila dipite na mandoku kajindi anigo fono na mandoku kajindi babu karando funyaro dorom kuninu yangal tamalande wonyaite sa de songolo nali le jafwe sakengo jokolo nali manton ko mutas mumbe kanala papa o nali manton ko mutas mumbe uzinga e bujang sambanjai barabai sa de kelo mambe de sambanjai barabai alla itwa bukaram ulia bende fala base kunyade de ulia bende fala.
Yo, assalamu alaikum. Kepa ko ñuy déglu di ñu seetaan alkan jube dunia tonkon nano dawo dranding ngal be hekadani. Sorry for that short interruption. This is a special interview I'll be having with Oboy, and he will be joining us shortly. It's rather unfortunate that this is the current status quo of the country. Banko bida kantenne. Coronavirus wa tole fo. Albeya Kalamuta, March Karo, Tiriseyo, on the 8th of March. Wolungole Mansakunda a new restriction o Dundi, Kafuko Momo ye ban kele or a temporary ban on the issuance of license wolem kalaisi no di mol la mele alonko ilafita program mol kela. Whether political program or lembang other program morning dine program kotengol be program me along ko drong mol be kafula nyomale mansa kunda e wole lua londi ka foko ilafita wole sabati butong Gambian musician no ka fome Oboy alafita ka program okay which ala album launch no Oboy meta nyim plan la for Karidantang. But for Oboy da Maleng, Hani, program Jamal Nyalta Kelanu. In February, the same thing happened. ST Birkama Boyo, Nyanta la album launching o Kelanu. He should have done his album launching at the Independence Stadium. This was a big standoff on the 6th of February between ST, the Gambian Dream, the Independence Stadium management, and of course, several stakeholders have to intervene, including the Minister of Youth and Sports, Bakari Baji, and others, until eventually ST was granted the permit for him to do his program at the Independence Stadium. Pamalik Madragon is also expected to bring a Nigerian artist to actually do a concert. Politicians like UDP wanted to do a fundraising. End of February, UDP was supposed to have a fundraising at the Independence Stadium featuring top Gambian artists such as Jaliba Kuyate, ST, Birkama Boyo, Jizul, and others. These are all events. Politicians has to rush. If we all remember, on the 6th of March, same weekend that this ban, the weekend before this ban took place, a similar situation happened. 4 political parties in the country had to launch their, had to do their congresses, and these were the PDOIS, DOI, GDC, Mama Kande's party, Ahmad Ba's party, NRP, and GAP, Musa Ali Bachili's party. All these 4 different political parties actually did their congresses the weekend of the 6th of March. This is barely about a month ago. Today is the 8th. It is exactly 1 month ago that this temporary ban by the government actually took place. And it got a lot of people wondering what is happening. Has the activity ceased in the country? What they said was events that required a police permit. That's what they said. Events that required a police permit is what they said was going to stop. And this includes having Oboy's program required a police permit indeed. He wasn't given a permit, obviously. Sorry about that. Obviously, he wasn't given a permit to do his program. Now, people are wondering, a lot of people are wondering, Oboy applied for a permit. When did he apply for his permit? Since January is when he applied for his permit. He wasn't granted one until March. He was issued a permit. Then today, that permit was revoked from him. Now, we will go back to history and look at things and put them into perspective. When Oboy applied for his permit, when the police issued it in March, they knew very well that this is not in line with the restrictions that they actually issued. Ngen Baral Mafi, 1 minute, Rek, just give me a second, 1 minute. Let me pull this permit for Oboy, and then I will show it to you guys. Then we will take it up from there. Greetings to you all, wherever you are watching us from. This is a special interview I'm having with Oboy, the Gambian musician. I will be having him shortly, by the way. And I just wake up. I just woke up too, so you know how that feeling is. I just woke up, so that's the reason. But let's do this.
Ila mansa na mandoku okejindi. Ila dipite na mandoku okejindi. Anigo fono na mandoku okejindi. Tubabu karande ufunyaro dorong. Kunini uyangal, tamalan ni mo nyaite. Sa desungulu nali eja fwe satembo. Yonkolo nali mantong kong muta sume kalala. Apao nali mantong kong muta sume tila. Usinga e bujang sambanjai barabay. Sa tekelo mambede sambanjai barabay. Alla intwa bukarang ulia dende fala. Pase kunyade te ulia dende fala.
All down on 360. Ila kano pen in 360. Party, Willie, I want in fake. Ita kona fanyo limbo modoro.
Nake beso to bara kona kodo ajindi. Likili vula konye krediko ajindi. Ninga visit akonye sama ajindi. Na me kanu sama da sila. Dusu da mai so cool. Dusu da mai so cool. Ina da fela korra ta ko so cool. Maka di seri boy lori nyim ponyo kono. Na me kanu jinni. Mimme kanu jinni. Jinni. Na me kanu jinni. Na me kanu jinni. Mimme kanu jinni. Jinni. Na me kanu jinni. Ila mansa na mandoku oke jindi Duma ila dipite na mandoku oke jindi Anigo fono na mandoku oke jindi Tubabu karande ufunyaro dorong Kunin yangal Tamalan ni mo nyaite Sa desong lunali heja fwe sa tembo Yokolo nali mantong kong mutas mube kanala Apa ho nali mantong kong mutas mube tila Usinga e bujang sambanjay barawaj Sa tekelo mambede sambanjay barawaj Allah intwa bukarong ulia bende fala Pase kunyade te ulia bende fala Ajindi. Mutakala.
Shy Boy Production. Oh, naga jindi rola.
Ila mansa na mandoku oke jindi. Ila dipite na mandoku oke jindi. Anigo fono na mandoku oke jindi. Tubabu karande ufunyaro dorong. Kunin yangal Tamalan ni mo nyaite Sa desong lunali heja fwe sa tembo Yokolo nali mantong kong mutas mube kanala Apa ho nali mantong kong mutas mube tila Usinga e bujang sambanjay barawaj Sa tekelo mambede sambanjay barawaj Allah intwa bukarong ulia bende fala Pase kunyade te ulia bende fala
All down on 360. Ila kano pen in 360. Pare kulia one in fake. Ida kono fanyo limba modoro.
Nake beso to bara kona kodo ajindi. Likili vula konye krediko ajindi. Ninga visit akonye sama ajindi. Na mekanu sama da sila.
Jajijo.
Dusu dama so cool.
Akenenele.
Dusu dama so cool. Ina da fela korra ta ko so cool. Maka di seri boy lori nyim ponyo kono.
Na mekanu
jinni.
Mimme kanu
Jinni. Jinni.
Na mekanu
Jinni.
Na mekanu
Jinni.
Mimme kanu
Jinni. Jinni.
Na mekanu
Jinni.
Okay, I'm sorry about that short interruption. I have Oboy back on the line, and we'll be having this interview with Oboy right now. Ngalbe kontongal tol nal kontongala. Yes, you are watching the special interview on the Gambian Talents TV, and right now our special guest is Oboy. Oboy nge kontong. Oboy.
Hello.
Oboy nge kontong. Yo, Barabali. Butu ibe live on Gambian Talents TV. Na jiber lal nina lamoy lal bebe jibe kambe nyinte mbo mento. Ajindile dunia tay. Butung. Jumale be jila, barole be jila wala jumale be jila.
Ani ne ma ke ku drol be jila.
Memma ke ku wala be jila.
Baro da jila de, ni ma ke ku wala be jila.
Butu men keta bi fo ke ku tale bang. Pamito e di yena ya busi kota ke fo ke ku tale.
O man ke ku de ma pamito murda na ko den.
Butu oto be jila le fo IGP le be jila oto.
No IGP ku dole be je ku da ma be je jarole won.
Yeah, don't from ite from politician or tiwo kodi.
Dawa nga politician o di ndew kay dol mu fengo entertainer le dol mu neutral mo le.
Bari ite ifele ko ay iko momo ma ke ku wala nyanta jila. Budun sa polisol ma ke ku sa iko polisol te jila.
No sa dole wajibe dron ni ma ke ku ya dai ma ke ku en jila. Ila mu so ko na ma ke ku kabula.
Okay, wala nan ko fo IGP ko do ate man hani kari kilin ki je folo. Ate nyanta jila le fa nyanta tula jele. Alka Gambian Talent TV le jibe special interview with Oboy. I mean, I have Oboy on the line. Obviously, as you guys can hear, the network is reconnecting. He is driving right now. He's driving right now, so we'll bring Oboy back. But you're watching an exclusive interview here on the Gambian Talents TV. Oboy ne Ajindi, he made a special song called Ajindi, and according to him, earlier he wrote on his Facebook page that it is because of his song Ajindi that his permit that he was revoked, that he was issued was actually revoked. The Ajindi song, if you haven't heard it or you haven't seen it, let's listen to Ajindi and see how it goes. Ajindi by Oboy and Gambian Thai. While we try Oboy again, let's try to bring in Ajindi and see. If you have not seen Ajindi, this is the song that made Oboy's permit being revoked according to what he said. This is the song. Let's listen to Ajindi and see.
Ila mansana mandoku kajindi. Ila dipite na mandoku kajindi. Anigo fono na mandoku kajindi. Babu karande ufunyaro dorong. Kunin niu yangal. Tamalan ni mo nyaite. Sa te sungulu nali eja fwe sakembo. Yonkolo nali mantong kong muta sumume kanala. Apa o nali mantong kong muta sumume tila. Usinga e bujang sambanjai barabay. Sa te kelo mambete sambanjai barabay. Allah intwa bukarong ulia bende fala. Pase kunyade de ulia bende fala.
Bike wala daw kono 360. Ila kano penin 360. Pare wuli ya wani fake. Ida kono fanyo limba modoro.
Nake beso to bara kona kodo. Likili vula konye krediko. Ninga visit akonye sama. Na mekanu sama da kila.
Jajijo.
Dusu dama yesu kule.
Akenenele.
Dusu dama yesu kule. Ina da fela korda ta ko yesu kule. Makadi seri boyo lori nyimbo nyokono.
Na mekanu.
Jinni.
Mimekanu.
Jinni. Jinni.
Na mekanu.
Jinni.
Na mekanu.
Jinni.
Mimekanu.
Jinni. Jinni.
Na mekanu.
Jinni. Ila mansana mandoku kajindi. Duma. Ila dipite na mandoku kajindi. Anigo fono na mandoku kajindi. Tubabu karande ufunyaro dorong. kunin ni uyangal tamalan ni unyaite sa de songolo nali ja fwe satengo jonkolo nali man tonko mutasmo be kanala papa o nali man tonko mutasmo be ti uzinga e bujang sambanjai barawai sa de kelo man bede sambanjai barawai alla intwa bukaram ulia bende fala pase kunyade de ulia bende fala Ajindi.
Whoever doesn't do it right, bring the person down. Whoever doesn't do it right, bring the person down. Képp ku defut lu mu war a def rek wàccee ko su fekkee ne yaa ngi ñoo déglu ku defut right wàccee ko loolu la Oboy wax moom moo maa keeku drong a jinde. You are watching an exclusive interview here on the Gambian Talents TV. Oboy's network just went bad there. We will continue to actually do a little bit of analysis while we try to reconnect Oboy there. He's been working on his album, just like I said earlier. Like a lot of the Gambian musicians have come together to actually do their albums or launch their albums. Oboy is no exception. He's been planning it, and if you go to his social media pages, you will see that he's been engaging several Gambian musicians. The likes of Hussein Dada did a video for him. Nobles did a video for him. Badi Bunka did a video for him. Boroke did a video for him. Attack did a video for him. Miss Jobis did a video for him. Several Gambian musicians did a video in solidarity with Oboy to actually ask the public and their fans to come out. This is something that he was planning. He followed due process and went to the IGP and asked for a permit like every other person or musician. Shortly before I had Oboy on the line, I was talking about how ST Birkama Boyo had actually asked for a permit himself. At the end of the day, he was denied a permit and later issued a permit. The Independence Management cancelled his gig that he was supposed to have at the Independence, and it was a big standoff between ST and the Independence Stadium management. But let's see what happened actually with Oboy. As you can see, what I am showing right now is Oboy's permit that he was refused. This first one is the one in which he was granted a permit by the police. He applied for the permit. As you can see, on the 22nd is when he was on the 22nd of March, he received a letter from the Office of the Inspector General of Police, in which they issued him a permit. It says request for security and permit to stage an album launching. A reference from your request letter dated 18th March 2021 for the above subject matter. Obviously, 18th March was after the day that Oboy actually had planned. All the new restrictions already took effect, because the new restrictions took effect on the 8th of March. So if on the 18th, Oboy applied for a permit and he was issued one, then the police know what they are claiming now. We will go back to it and read it. It said, please be informed that your request has been granted for you to go ahead with your album launching with Oboy and Gambian Child, slated for the 9th of April 2021 at Q City due to comments from 2100 hours to 5 a.m. This is what the police letter said. Please note that the album launching must be done under the following circumstances. That the album launching must be done within the spirit and provisions of the Public Emergency Act declared by the President to prevent the spread of the COVID-19. They say it must be done in accordance of the Public Order Act that was declared by the President to prevent the spread of COVID-19. B, that you shall be responsible in providing face masks and hand sanitizers, gloves to attendants during the event. Yes, that he should be responsible for providing face masks, hand sanitizers, and gloves to attendants to prevent the spread of COVID-19. C, that you will take full responsibility to make sure that social distancing of 1 meter within attendance is maintained. That's the third one. That Oboy was going to do or take full responsibility to make sure that people observe social distancing and they will leave 1 meter distance between themselves. D, that you will take full responsibility of any act slash omission contrary to the law as related to the issuance of this permit committed by any person or group of persons. Such failure will result to the revocation of this permit and or otherwise, whatever it is that the such failure will result to the revocation of this permit and or the sanctioning of criminal prosecutions. This is what the police said. They said by a copy of this letter, Commissioner of Police West Coast Region and PIU are duly informed to take note, and you are also advised to liaise with CP, WCR on whatever the telephone numbers they gave. You look at this permit in itself. This was a similar permit that was issued to ST Birkama Boyo. You tell me that this is real. You tell me that this is real. When at the end of the day, the police claiming that they have issued Oboy a permit. Realistically, how it is for him to actually follow through with this that they are claiming here. Comme ni ko gaay waxee rek dañ bugga pour gis ne album launching Oboy bi atata le anyanta tala nyameng iko president e kankularo mendi pour COVID-19 Oboy be o normal le anala mol abe provide face mask di la mol le face mask and hand sanitizer. Yes, the funniest part is the 1 meter distance. We all know Gambia. We are talking about this. Will Gambians, with Oboy's fans, with the people who go to this place, follow this? Altol mel fango enyim pamito issue alman lanyina. Those of you that issued this permit, you don't even believe in it. Lip service. Nyantam fonyo la walla. Akumaya batale. Ngaje ko lip service manke. Momo ike dam ko menna inyanta bara la alale. Li waydi uyo da koy nuru dama ko de wax say bu neka. Ike dam ko menna inyanta bara la alale. Narra itol ko Oboy nyanta 1 meter distance enforce lale. Oboy way enforce nyadi le. Are they giving him security to do so? Do they have security officers to give him to make sure that everybody observes the 1 meter distance? This is the way of criminalizing people. This is a way of criminalizing people. Ni mansalafita bulo lola Oboy kang. They can use this letter to actually make him a criminal. They can use this letter to get him to be at the end of the day to press charges against him, which doesn't make any sense. I mean, he will take full responsibilities of social distancing of 1 meter. Ni momo tata je iman responsibility ke or iman 1 meter distance obey. They can do whatever they want to do to Oboy. And these are the type of things that they need to stop, setting citizens up for failure. They are either in or out. They either believe in what they are saying or they don't believe in it. And this is something that is currently happening. Let me take this out for a second. Yes, Oboy is back. Hello, Oboy. Oboy. Hello, Oboy. Hello. Akam Tampota Oboy la jele. Whatever he is up to, he's a very busy man, and today he's the hot cake. He is, of course, trending and making headlines in Gambian media. It's rather unfortunate, but these are the things that the police are saying to Oboy that they said to him when they issued the permit to him at first, That's what they said to him when they issued the permit to him at first. Then they came back and actually issued another one today in which they revoked the license. I was just about to show you that one when Oboy came in. Hello, Oboy.
Yeah, Oboy be Pitinola. I'm in the office right now. I'm in Pitinola.
I'm live. I was having an interview with him. Okay, can I have it for just 5 minutes?
He's in the office. We are outside and they call him inside. He's in the office.
Oh, okay. So they called him inside an office. Okay, thank you.
Yes.
As you can see, he really squeezed time to do this with us. Let's hang in there whilst we are doing some analysis. Hopefully, Oboy will be back with us. Munchi office Nono. This is a young man who is putting Gambia on the map. This is a young man who is making Gambia proud. This is a young man who undoubtedly has conquered social media. When you go to YouTube, his video that I was just playing, within 2 days, it has 90 something thousand views within 2 days. Undoubtedly, he's the biggest Gambian artist on social media, especially on YouTube. This is somebody that is getting Gambia known. This is somebody that is holding our flag high. Ginga, our government need to be serious. And I'm talking about all stakeholders in government here. Governance is not a joke. Kabanko samba manke fair quote. Yobu reu, do your feature hand. It is not a joke. And you either do this or you don't do it. Danko mun walanga bai. Danko mun walanga bai. This is not a joke. Now, you gave the young man a permit on the 22nd. He went ahead with all his logistics. We all know getting a venue and how expensive it is. We all know getting living what you call it, a sound system and how expensive it is. Doing marketing and promotion and all the logistics that are involved. You gave somebody permission to continue and do a particular business up to a certain time, and you said a day before the particular event, you said you revoke the license. This is the revocation right here, whether it's revocation or whatsoever. They could have even acknowledged. It just reads, request for permit and security at our launching in Q City. The Office of the Inspector General of Police acknowledges receipt of your missive reference date 10th January 2021 related to the above caption. Accordingly, this office writes to inform you that your request cannot be granted at this moment, as the stipulated date falls within the COVID-19 restriction period. Accordingly, this office writes to inform you that your request cannot be granted at the moment as the stipulated date falls within the COVID-19 restriction period. Now, did the office of the IGP not know this when they issued Oboy this letter on the 18th of March? This letter that I'm showing right now, in which they are giving him these 5 restrictions that the album launching can go ahead. He must follow the state of emergency declaration, the public emergency declaration by the office of the president. He must issue face masks, hand sanitizers, and gloves to the attendants. He must take full responsibility to make sure social distancing is observed. He must make sure that he takes full responsibility of any act or omission contrary to the laws related to the issuance of the permit, and that such failure will result to the revocation of this permit and to the sanctioning of the criminal prosecution. Didn't the office of the IGP know this when they were issuing this letter to Oboy? Didn't they know this? It's about time our government start to be serious. This is not only in this ministry. We see it all the time. We see these things happening all the time. They do something, the next minute they claim they made a mistake. The next minute they claim that they forgot. The next minute they claim it was an error. These things can cost the country and cost the country dearly. Government institutions must take responsibility of the things that they do. Something that went down in the history books of the Gambia that the Gambia will never forget is December of 2016. When IEC announced on December 4th that the Gambia President Adama declared President Adama Barrow as the president of the Gambia. when Ali Momar Njai made the announcement. A couple of days, and former President Yahya Jammeh came out and congratulated President Adama Barrow. You give it a couple of days. IEC chairman Ali Momar Njai came and said they made a mistake. It was an error. And this gave Yahya Jammeh the power, the guts, the will, the determination, the zeal, the endurance, the perseverance, the confidence, and the ability to declare our country's legit, authentic election results null and void, and said that ngamuru na hajul kang mobe na nyebdelo wati sense of life. The country doesn't have money, ninga kodo soto, we will conduct brand new elections. Gis nga deka du yof caaxaan banku sambo amanke fair kuwoti. Our people must learn to be doing the right thing and doing it right. You issue him a permit. You issue the young man a permit. The next minute you came and you said you revoked that permit. You came and you said you made a mistake. They didn't even reference the letter that they gave him. You issue somebody 1 minute, it's actually not revocation because they issued him a letter. If it was revocation, they will come and reference that, okay, we issued you a letter on this day and this is what we said on that letter. But no, they just came and made no reference to the letter they issued him on March 22nd, only to say that, yes, we actually refuse your letter. Our country needs to be very serious, and people in governance need to know that this is not a joke. Public figures are very powerful. They can cause unrest in a country. We're not saying Oboy is going to do the same thing. Now look at it now. Everything is being alluded to is connected to Ajinde song. That is what Oboy claimed when he was refused a permit. He claimed that it is because of the Ajinde song that he did. That is why he was actually denied a permit. Let's look at what Oboy posted earlier. He said what he posted on his social media together with those letters. Oboy said, Gambia, this is what is happening right now. Because of my latest song, Ajindi, the police revoked my permit for the launching tomorrow. I will call for a press conference later. Thanks. Because of the Ajindi song, the police revoked my permit for the launching tomorrow. I will call for a press conference later. He did the Ajindi song. If you listen to it with all fairness, he is not alluding to one particular incident. He is not talking about one particular thing. Yes, he started it with politics. He said if Mansa didn't do it, is not delivering. Ajindi, Wacheko, bring him down. If your deputy, your National Assembly member, your NAM is not delivering, plug him down, bring him down. Any politician, if they are not delivering to expectation, anybody in public office, any public servant, bring him down. Ajindi, yes. He went into a relationship and talk about your girlfriend. If he tells you to give her credit endlessly, Ajindi, wacheko. It's a fun song, but very educative. Basically, chigata lepalo hamne nitan koy def te waru rek wacheko. And that's why I was trying to be sarcastic and teasing him at the beginning when I heard him on the line to say that if IGP didn't do it right, if the police did it right today, then should we jindi the IGP? Should we jindi the IGP Sanyang? Should we jindi the police? Whoever doesn't do it right, jindi. Kudafudlu right, jindi ko. Na jipo, jipoi. Anybody who doesn't do right, let them jipo. It's a song that is both educative and entertaining. And I think if it is true that this is politically motivated, it is true, if it is true that the IGP or office of the IGP has decided or has received some orders, has received some order from the top, as they always say, it's from the top, it's from the top, it's from the top. If it is true that this is from the top, then we are disappointed with them because we expect to pass that stage. That's not what Gambians voted for. Gambians voted for a change, not for politicians to be taking advantage of situations, not politicians to be taking advantage of things, not politicians to be mad at citizens for doing what the constitution of the country, section 25 of the constitution, has actually authorized them to do, has empowered them to do. It's a right. It's a fundamental right that the constitution has empowered the citizens of the country to do, which is to be able to talk, to be able to speak, to be able to express themselves in whatever form. Barry, do we have responsibility? Yes. To be civil in the way we express ourselves. We have the responsibility to be civil. Momo ma keku a jindi. Ku defut lu baax, ku defut lu war, nañ ko wàccee, nañ ko jindi. Nga butongolo ay jippo. That's what he said. Oboy has the tendency to be singing these type of songs. If you listen to Abutongolo and most of the songs, a good number of his songs, Imam, Kaibala, Kairaba, these are all songs by Oboy in which he is actually talking about controversial issues. That next person kuchingi sutta boparek dinga kuneka ci field bi, whoever is in the field that he is talking about, it's easy for you to see yourself in it. People can relate to it. It's about time that our people respect and understand these things. We live and let others live. It's about time that those in authority understand these things. It's about time that our government officials, our public servants understand these things. Government come and go. Politicians come and go, but the country stays. Politicians come and go, but the country stays. I just said this to a gentleman who used to work for the government, a parastatal or a government branch, for a while. And the person, before he was in the government place, he used to be very nice, very humble, very interactive, very reachable. As soon as they had the position, which is not much, comme ka fa ñamen drom, ñun dañ dé gawa bew, dañ dé gawa fuy, dañ position daf ñu dé gawa yobu lu ci bari. Palaso akam fuyindile, palaso ka tinnale ngan sanyo sikandi, palaso ka tinnale kan juso lipa, palaso ka tinnale ngan na mo betol bula, ngan na mol bula. But positions come and go. The person was in a position, the contract ended, and he's no longer there. They are now ordinary citizens like anybody else that need the service of the people, that need to interact with the people, that need to do things with the ordinary people. Woto nibeje alonko samani sening besilale alonko nyimbe bannale alonko yedoko men di la itam te yakara fe male den la ko denka, and then la ko denka for you to deliver and deliver well for the Gambian people. And what is worth doing is worth doing well. Tout ce qui mérite d'être fait mérite d'être bien fait. Tout ce qui mérite d'être fait mérite d'être bien fait. Le fengo fenkela al nga kiku ni dunia be kafuta ka ku betoke anenete ku betoke la ku kurungoti. Ni dunia be kafuta ka ku kurungoke anenete ku kurungoke la ku betote. Woto al nga kata ntel melbe banku do ko la ntel melbe pola pala solto nga lonko nyine nyanta ngake men nyanta wala kela bari not membe caring sign, not membe caring men nyanta wala kela li war. What needs to be, what ought to be, it's what we need to do, and not at the end of the day what we feel like doing, what people think, the perceptions. And laws are laws and should be maintained. This is why Gambia do them. Sumako wahe, I am George. Sumako wahe, nyuna danga negative. And as a result, I have a lot of public servants who are mad at Pa Usman, who don't like Pa Usman, who hates Pa Usman's guts, who think Pa Usman is negative. In reality, it's not negativity. Sumane lutax Gambia do them, danga negative. I even have a public servant who has shut his doors on me, blocked me everywhere. I didn't know. I used to have a very good relationship with the person. The person shuts me down and will not talk to Pa Usman. I called him multiple times. He's not picking up. We had a relationship. I sent him messages. He opens my messages and never responds to my messages. I sent Fat Samba to his office because there was something official that we needed. As soon as Fatu got there, when he knew it was Gambian talents, he started getting himself busy and all the things. And Fatu said to him, I was on the phone with Fatu. I said, tell Fatu that I want to talk to him. As soon as Fatu said, he was like, in fact, jox ma téléphone bi sax suma naka yow gis nga yow danga negative too much dama sona si sa negative yi motax ma block la motax ma lifin la every time fuñ la gis yaa ngi post to negative yaa ngi li yaa ngi lele. I was very disappointed with this man. This is somebody that's old enough to be my dad. This is somebody that is a public figure. This is somebody that we all respect. He was taking it personal because of the things that Pa Usman posts, because of the things that Pa Usman talks about. Like kubod buke haj bola non la ko olof njaay waxe surwal ka fo wole ñama nie suluwo bambo fo wulol se baw nie suluwo bambo fo wulol se baw kubod buke haj bola ni mano palaso di so munut rek joxel place bi as simple as ABC banku doko manke fair quote. I repeat again, banku doko manke fair quote. I repeat again, this is not a joke. Our country is in you guys' hand. There are so many things that are happening in the country that should not be happening. Now let's look at the precedents that is created. Let's look at what this will call holistically. Now let's look at it holistically. Yes, we advocate for them to give Oboy his permit after they gave it to him and whatsoever. They are the ones who make the laws. They are the ones who made the laws. There is a public or there's a state of public emergency. There is a law that is being enacted by the government. The president issued a law that said it was going to be followed. Since the coronavirus pandemic came, how many of these state of public emergencies have been, invoked, and announced by the office of the president, by the government, especially through Ibrahim G. Sankare, the government spokesperson. At the end of the day, what came out of it? What came out of it? Nothing. Lip service, we need to stop Kumaba 4 wrong. Mansa kunda doku manke Kumaba 40. Liga ingur du mun wax bu reuy. Binda fu binda gina colorful nga binda. Ka foy kala warta nyamen wrong ila sefero ye sefero no nyamen wrong hanide. Amanke what? We should stop the lip service. We should mean the things we say. And I'm saying this because from March 17, 2020, when the government announced the first case of the coronavirus in the Gambia, when they said that we have somebody who has coronavirus, the first case of COVID-19 was announced in the country on March 17th of 2020. A few days before, a few days before Lulu. This was on a Wednesday that the Minister of Health went to, Dr. Amadou Samate went to GRTS to announce it. That Sunday, which was March 15th, I believe, either 14th or 15th or 16th, I believe, the president invited elders from URR. He just left from URR. I have done Lutah Gambia Rudem show in which I analyzed this, in which I criticized the president. I told the president about coronavirus that it was coming. I had people telling me while I do Lutah Gambia Rudem show, while I do Sentiment show, people telling me that Senegal had already shut down their borders, their airspace, and Senegalese are using the Gambia as a transit to get into Senegal from Europe, from America. Sénégal a ngi tëj seen dëkk bi ñun dof nañ dof goo xam ne ñu ngi ibbi suñ dëkk bi ci time boobu fii fàtte xeju fi te ñu ne la ñu na I'm saying it because it's a fact. Go back and dig my Lutah Gambia Rudem show for that week. Dig Lutah Gambia Rudem show on YouTube. You search it for the week of March 2020. You will see that I was advising the president, that I said to the president that you must close our borders, you must act and act now. You must stop all these political events that are happening. That same show, I remember talking to the president because he has formed a delegation and went to Senegal to do
the bilateral, whatever, Senegalo-Gambia conference, something that they had, Senegalo-Gambia, between Senegal and Gambia, in which they had to talk about trade and everything. This was a period when the whole world was going crazy. This was a period when Aruna Biepangi Jahaso, everybody was freaking out. Everybody was talking about the coronavirus. Anywhere you tune in, including Senegal, they were very much concerned about the coronavirus. Our president has the audacity at this time and the wherewithal to actually, and the wisdom, together with his team. He went with security, the Minister of Defense, and several security personnel. He went with the Minister of Trade and several security officials. This is not something I'm making up. I have shown these pictures to the folks who used to follow Gambian Talents at the time when I did the show. In fact, I should be able to have some of those pictures here on my screen that I will show to actually remind you guys that this is not something that I'm making up. I criticized the president dearly. This was until that time, until the country announced its first project of COVID-19. Now, guess what? I actually even find the image that I was talking about earlier, and I'm about to share it here. I told you guys that the 2 days before the Gambia announced the first case of COVID-19, 3 days, on Sunday, the Gambia announced the first case. You can go back and look at these days as I am talking. If you think I'm just making this thing up, the Gambia announced, maybe you forgot because it's over a year, but it's our interest and we follow it. The Gambia registered its first case of coronavirus on March 17th of 2020. And a few days before then, the president had actually invited elders of Basse when coronavirus was talking about, or elders of URR, for them to come for a courtesy call at the State House in which they were thanking him. And he had just left Basse less than 2 weeks before this. And guess what? Here is the picture of the president and those people. This is the president right here of and his ministers. Of course, you can see Ibrahim Silla is right behind him. You can see Ahmadba is in the picture. You can see Hadrame Sidibe. You can see all these elders. These are all people from URR that went to visit the president on this particular day. I mean, this was that Sunday. You see all these people. Tell me the president is observing social distancing here. Look at the president, his distance with Ahmadba, with the minister, with all the people that are standing next to him, with all these old people, some of whom may have underlying medical condition. This is again shortly after the president had returned from Senegal. They went to Senegal for whatever trip they went to, him and his team, security officers and Minister of Trade and whatever ministry that he went with. You tell me, and I said it, this is when Senegal was growing by the day, having 10, 15, 20 cases by the day. When it was escalating, they started by having 1, 2 cases a day, 3 cases a day. And at this time, this is what we are getting into. None of these people here had a face mask on. This is not something I'm making up. I still have the picture here. I still have the picture of the president and those people that he was with. And I'm talking about the security officials meeting here. These are not things that I am making up. These are real things. These are real facts. These are things that have happened. And I keep these pictures just for days like this. Now, if Oboy is to actually do something like this, it's important. Now, as the cases start to escalate, during this period, as the cases started to escalate, what did they do? They started to take things a little more serious. And on this particular day, the CRC, the Constitutional Review Commission of the country, actually went to visit the president to hand over their report to him. The CRC, the controversial CRC we are talking about, that has been expunged, that has been dissolved now. This is a picture during which the president, the CRC went to visit the president. They observed a little bit of social distancing here. You compare this picture to the one that I showed earlier, in which the president was with the people from Basse. In this particular picture, as you can see, you will see the president with the CRC chairman, the then Minister of Justice Batambedu, and of course all the CRC commissioners are standing behind him. Commissioner Jesho, who was at the TRRC a few days ago, all of them, including Seni MK Marina in the background there. These are not things that I'm making up. These are facts that has happened when the government themselves were not taking the coronavirus serious, only till last minute for them to now start acting like, we've forgotten about these things. FIFA te hejufi. We are not going to forget about these things. You must be serious and you must lead and lead by example. The president was on leave all this while, and he was at the provinces and went to visit his projects that he's doing in URA. People didn't observe social distancing. So Zuntoge, the last minute, for political reasons, they decided to actually let go some of these projects. They decided to let go, to invoke or provoke or announce these restrictions that all events requiring permit should be stopped. Lan mo stop si deka bi nañ bay xel ne citizens they observe and they watch and they see. When this thing was announced, actually I talked to somebody the other day and they were like, yes, you see, government they set themselves for failure. I said, why do you say that? This is somebody in Gambia. Munema, because when the government announced that these things were going to stop, like these restrictions were going to take effect, Munema, all the citizens were looking forward to this. All the citizens were looking forward to this. Each and every one of us was bracing up for this day. And they were right, because you can see people. In fact, when you went to the stores the day before this was announced, or that weekend of the 6th, when GAP, NRP, and GDC had their congresses on the weekend of the 6th of December, of March 6th, if you went to the stores, you will see how busy the stores were. You will see people buying stuff, people buying groceries, because people in their heads thought it was actually a real lockdown that was happening. And that's how they were presenting it. Lockdown, lockdown. In fact, Banjul, Gambia, they call it lockdown. They called it a lockdown. And they took measures to make sure that they were safe, to make sure that they had food. All of us, even man, at Gambian Talents, when we are planning, we made a lot of planning, factoring this. At the end of the day, you shut down the country, everything continues as it is. Events that need permit. Demal si juma yi nga seet ñu ngi first step, demal si cooj yi nga seet ñu ngi first step, demal si ngente yi ñu ngi first step, demal si takka yi ñu ngi first step, demal si birthday parties yi ñu ngi first step. The only thing that are not happening are events that require police permit. You will conclude that is politically motivated. Ñoom ST ak ñoom Oboy, they are not the target. Den ci juux rek, den ci juux ye jea konole. Oboy mbafole ko ening estignol madragon nyol altol melbe entertainment industry koni aleje akonole ali alfanje akonole dangeen ci juux dangeen ci fekk seen boppa. This is targeted for the politicians. It's targeted for the politicians, because the longer they can keep them waiting while the president consolidates himself, while he sets up his structures, while he goes out to talk to the people in the villages, to do his things, to have his ground teams working. The NPP are doing their thing on a daily basis. They haven't stopped. If other political parties are sitting down because they are following the law that the government has put in place, it's because they are trying to respect the law. But guess what? As they are sitting down, the president is working. As they are sitting down, NPP is working. He has taught the country when you guys couldn't, because he used a national character. He used a law to back himself, which is the Meet the People tour that he was supposed to do, which he ended up politicizing. And everything that was talked about at these tours were politics. He goes to launch projects across the country any day, any time that he wants, until this day. And when they go there, they do their politicking, whilst all the political parties are sitting down. Now, what will this do? You know, oh boy, Ajindi song, Motah Nyurivoko. It's possible. But there is also another perspective that you can look at it. And what is that perspective? It doesn't have to be oh boy's Ajindi song. It is very possible that the trigger for this is politicians reacting to it. It is possible that politicians reacting to it, whether they've already done so, whether they are about to do so, whether they are doing so now, politicians reacting to this. What will they now tell the politicians? Will they go back and tell them that, oh, if a politician applies for a permit to do an event at the same venue that Oboy is doing it, to do an event at the Independence Stadium, to do an event anywhere else that require a permit? If they give it to Oboy, why wouldn't they give it to NRP? Why wouldn't they give it to NCP? Why wouldn't they give it to Citizen Alliance? Why wouldn't they give it to GAP? Why wouldn't they give it to GDC? Why would they give it to UDP? Why wouldn't they give it to APRC? Why wouldn't they give it to, why wouldn't they give it to, why wouldn't they give it to all the 17 registered political parties and the independents like Kitabu and Banki and Marisok and others who want to do, who want to be independent candidates? If they actually given it out, if they gave a permit to Oboy, if I were in any of these politicians' shoes, I will equally go and apply for a permit to host my event. I certainly will. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. A law is a law and should be followed across the board. It should be followed by everyone. Right? Because we are used to bending the laws, we are used to favoring people with the laws, we are used to creating exceptions or giving people privileges or whatsoever. That's what we end up running into. We need to calculate the things that we do. I was with somebody a few weeks ago. The person is from Gambia, and then I got pulled over by the police. And as we are talking about, the guy is like, oh, wow, what's going to happen? He saw my interaction with the police and how we were acting and everything. And he was like, wow, this is very professional. I see the way you are acting. I see the way the police is acting, talking to you professionally, nicely, and everything, all the interaction that happened. The natural tendency in Gambia would have been, Guinea Darajok police be, mobile. It doesn't work like that here. And you get pulled over, regardless of what, they look at it. The person was like, oh, do you know why I pulled you over? I said, no. Well, this weekend we are going around. It's Operation Spare No One. We are going about to get people who are breaking the laws, who have any type of infraction. And you have your license plate. I have 2 license plates. Over here, we have 2 license plates, one in the front and one in the back. The one in the back is supposed to have a tab that said the year that my tab expires, which is 2022. And I put that one in the front instead of in the back. So he run it in the back and he didn't see the tab, and that's what he pulled me over for. And this was the Gambian Talents van I was driving, and he was like, okay, oh, where are you going? I said, just coming from the office. We're supposed to take people to go get, we took people to get vaccinated earlier today. And he was like, thank you for the good job you're doing. The police started complimenting me. He had a little bit of conversation, say, oh, this is a nice van. You guys are doing a good job. Thank you for what you're doing for your community, this and that. And the next minute, it didn't stop him from doing his job. He asked me for my license and registration. I gave it to him. He went to his police car, ran my driver's license information, looked at me. I was clean. He handed me my license back and said, I will not issue you a ticket this time around, but please make sure you change this. That's all. That's all. If it was a Gambian police officer, for the most part, they would be trying to see mbejolon na nyameng. Fog marot rek. Nimman jolong rek, dinañ create something for the most part. Yi lañ wara bàyyi ci dëkk bi, yi ñoo fi wara jeex. Yi ñoo fi wara jeex. Suñ bëggee réew mi dem kanam, ñanta ñin si falle banna jang. Ma fo membe kerim bi de, bari meññanta, nteka wala fo. Meññanta. Ni nga noma, wasalam. Nimma noma, wasalam. Waaye lii mooy li nga xam ne dafa war. Our country, nekkut toujours people ba xam ne lu leen neex def fa nga fen diataale ñaaw ñaranding aliake. You should think and think critically before you make certain decisions. You should think and think critically before you do certain things. Before you issued Oboy a permit, you should have looked at it. At least ST Bosam was with the stadium management, it wasn't with the government, because at the time the restrictions have not did not take place yet, because this was in February and the restrictions took place in March, sometimes in March. So it's very important that we pay attention to these things. Very important. So kon nte fenkela ñu deluwaat rek ngamuru, if you have not seen the video, ñu deluwaat rek ñu déglu Ajindi by Oboy and Gambian Child nga Ajindi la moy kote ke while I go ahead. If the people are doing what they are doing, Ijindi nge jindi So let's watch Ajindi again while I bring Oboy and Gambian Child. I bring Oboy back to see if we can get hold of him. Let's listen to Ajindi again with Oboy whilst I try to get him on the line, because this was supposed to be an interview. Sorry that we got disconnected earlier there and we lost him. Let's do Ajindi with Oboy.
Shy Boy Production.
Ila mansana mandoku okejindi. Ila dipite na mandoku okejindi. Anigo fono na mandoku okejindi. Tubabu karande ufunyaro dorong. Kuninu yangal tamalan mo nyaite. Sate sungulu nali eja fue sakembo. Yonkolo nali mantong komuta sume kalala. Apa o nali mantong komuta sume tila. Usinga e bujang sambanjai barabai. Sate kelo mambede sambanjai barabai. Allah intwa bukarong ulia bende fala. Pase kunyade de ulia bende fala.
Dike wala daw kono 360. Ila kano pening 360. Pare wuli ya wani fake. Ida kono fanyo limba modorong.
Nake beso to bara kona kodo. Likili vula konye krediko. Ninga visit akonye sama. Na mekano sama da sila.
Jajijo.
Dusu dama eso kule.
Akenenele.
Dusu dama eso kule. Ina da vela korda ta eso kule. Makadi seri boyo lori nyimpo nyokono.
Na mekano.
Jinni.
Mimekano.
Jinni. Jinni.
Na mekano.
Jinni.
Na mekano.
Jinni.
Mimekano.
Jinni. Jinni.
Na mekano.
Jinni. Ila mansana mandoku okejindi. Duma. Ila dipite na mandoku okejindi. Anigo fono na mandoku okejindi. Tubabu karande ufunyaro dorong. Kuninu yangal tamalan mo nyaite. Sade songolo nali eja fue sakembo. Yonkolo nali mantong komuta sume kanala. Apa o nali mantong komuta sume tila. Usinga e bujang sambanjai barabai. Sade kelo mambede sambanjai barabai. Allah intwa bukarong ulia bende fala. Pase kunyade de ulia bende fala. Ajindi. Mutakala.
Shy Boy Production.
Ila mansana mandoku okejindi. Ila dipite na mandoku okejindi. Anigo fono na mandoku okejindi. Tubabu karande ufunyaro dorong. Kuninu yangal tamalan mo nyaite. Sade songolo nali eja fue sakembo. Yonkolo nali mantong komuta sume kalala. Apa o nali mantong komuta sume tila. Usinga e bujang sambanjai barabai. Sade kelo mambede sambanjai barabai. Allah intwa bukarong ulia bende fala. Pase kunyade de ulia bende fala.
Dike wala daw kono 360. Ila kano pening 360. Pare wuli ya wani fake. Ida kono fanyo limba modoro.
Nake beso to bara kona kodo ajindi. Likili vula konye krediko ajindi. Ninga visit akonye sama ajindi. Na mekano sama da sila.
Jajijo.
Dusu dama yeso kule.
Akelele.
Dusu dama yeso kule. Ina da vela korda ta ko yeso kule. Baka di seri boyo lori nyimpo nyokono.
Na mekano.
Ajindi.
Mimekano.
Ajindi. Ajindi.
Na mekano.
Ajindi.
Na mekano.
Ajindi.
Mimekano.
Ajindi. Ajindi.
Na mekano.
Ajindi. Ila mansa na mandoku oke hindi Duma ila dipite na mandoku oke hindi Ani gofono na mandoku oke hindi Tubabu karande ufunyaro dorong Kuninu yangal Tamalan nyo nyaite Sa deso lunali eja fwe sa tembo Yonkolo nali mantong kong mutasule kanala Apo nali mantong kong mutasule kanala Usinga ebuja
Hello, Oboy. Hello. Alal hekatu, tofu manglena jigalu bu bahaba. I mean, sorry about that. You are watching and listening to a special interview here. Hello, Oboy.
Hello?
Hello, Oboy.
Yeah.
Oboy lembang.
Oboy.
Pa osle be line to hanikabi. Nina audience olde be line to entirely jambe live 1 hour Oboy. Ibita ibidu nebe findila. Yo butong inim fanso le nyo kontong kode ke mbe to nyen kanenong ibe live hanikabi 1 hour mbe live mbe batuka.
School culture book and Pablo Fanso le Mari it goes like baby cooking on you be caring Gambia to go funding can jump fund but Paus pay Fanso tempula movement yam da back Facebook to movement yam da WhatsApp to movement commenter movement fintita about this launching la cola pro IK because the man sembe soto over man sembe soto more lemon dollar sembo di that so more do fana findere ya aje ko obo ya aje ko Gambiano ba fele kamenga adia da Gambiano yele ado nyimo Gambia do ko da be mo bangu do ko di that.
Okay, fine, that's good. So mbenyi ninkala mem follow la ye license no permito apply le bari birin January biriba apply la wato kumol be fokan ne ko coronavirus ko be kerine fote illa male numbang ko did you know ko okay there's a potential for mansa si afoko okay ite permito dire la wala police wala ila evento e buy because ya jele ko ka banko soron ne ka ele different restrictions were happening fote illa no wala o male numbang
Imam for me do now $1. Another for me do the more last month on the 22nd day for me do the more. One me. Yeah, about the lockdown or the public gathering stop.
So ite fenko dundile yela application o dundile for permit during January. It will ma dealer for March 27, but it will restriction or dundi on March 8. So restriction or calling it will not fenko detailer. Restriction or calling in ata permit or detailer.
Yeah, March 22nd day permit or so young call be but in other muru the so be kellen.
So be kellen. But ite kunding ole tata Facebook ye sefero kije iko ya ribok ajindila kata sababoti ya jinde menna.
now wala tin na safaro because diamo siada tebe lari na yen call e konye ko police le ko yen call ya la mo ya kanyo jamba yen call le konye yen committee revoke le because of maybe ya mera kom like Allah would be sharing then you put the pool ko secondly para me na pinit daw para tola show be ke kanne even kunung de show do attend sorry ma attend bantam da event ola le krikama so ngaje ko show be happen ni so ni ulta re ko na so sama dia so na main ko mole ben fonye da ameran farambe lala won bari amanna ke woti so gal na da cool pinya dile na da cool da cool so ne dile e pamido dinna le ya ita dinna ko covid le ati na ya pamido ribo e ko kombi ka covid le mamanke ko kudoti anu de government manken to jawoti support kan e police manke jawoti andu the free security fanandila na pro yenana na programo ye programo na sicho
inin jumale killing ye meeting osoto birita je because birinte command samanda e konye ha felen kadung IGP inin jumale killing ye meeting ke IGP lemba wala ini module meeting ke
na posta je mambitino kunun kabiriya mande dala je ni commissioner dole bitino ke bar mawoto no bare na bita ning IG le bitino so do ani wo commissioner ning IG le aita molla ko balla program o kelale because school membe tama kanun amera dal police IG wol do fa kala be ma kala da bare IG wol nara mol ma ko ile ko so ene kala ko brare dol ma interior minister panet ma ko je aya jandiga da ko ala ba ko kairo ko yang advice fanan momo ngana fansol advice momo binana ila best maxinana ko git fanan respect.
Okay, so ite ye pamito mendila Oboy ya sefenu njele ko iha ye sarta lulu leke je. Wo sartol fote wol jibe ku kele bang kantong ya kijele ko ha itele nyanta face mask ko dila molla aning hand sanitizer aning glove all itele nyanta jela ko momo fansol be jamfari nyola metar killing itema. Ite o koje nyadile fo fansol ite ti wol jamfandi no nyoma ite ti o garanti no le ko fansol be jamfala nyoma le 1 meter distance between them.
Yemen punya ka face mask provide sampai kabire pia pamido dina awol kele nga covid la was wala advice wala awol kele and we spend a lot of money about purka covid la pool thank but pour fanzo le tara 1 meter tara nyobala 1 meter jafanyola 1 meter don't fa pamido dine do fa no de kenon ndo fa no go de kenon
bari ita kortala kolal ita kortala ko Oboy. Why did you agree to it then? Huh? Oboy ita kortala le di ita da korta wala le why do you agree to it then? Biria lonko ate kenola muna ne da korta kola. Nko ida korta kola le birite a lonko ate kenola fansolte 1 meter distance kenola adu ye wole fo. I mean muna ne da korta kola ini IG ye wo kachale ban falma woto kacha.
I do my best after soul sang jama ba ke la kunna ra momo na ra diba so na ila ninga hands and the parallel dije me ya lonko which so kenole but social distance Gambia, there is no social distance in the Gambia right now. So, Maverandemu Motivi Arandesa okay, no that. Guarantee no that.
But if we any or for did you talk to IGP about that? Don't you think that's a potential concern?
I'm concerned with my people and like concerned with the before. But social distance cool. Maybe no boy the family jam because more funny and then funny all to go try hand sanitizer when the punado on a face mask or when the punado And I will do that, and we do that.
Oboy, inka moyle ani kununko ini nasistala interview ngala moyle ika ko imankarang. Bari ye kaito ditela itela fango yo kaito publish ko nte aje itela kaito to mbe kaito ita kan koma. Abe seferi nje ye tombulule dila eko foisi social distancing ko nyin respect. Momo metar killing wala nyantatar la fansol bete mamel nata je. And wo mitel la responsibility di adu momo e fem fanaket ni program dula momo e tinyar keje wala momo e loi buruka wo mitel la responsibility lete. Did you see that on the document?
That's not over. And more than loi buruka la bajara kairo ika fengol men for management of bijane me alon ko wonde marata mo bela ando like men marata kanyin social distance cool men for anu fengol as artists wol man ken kala wait wol man ken kala do boot dal so ma me ran zeti am no do ma ngala back but timo bijane me alon ko they are concerned very well about that part.
But in come for do it for my own life detail land tepere nibe diamu kang mbe o yita kam fanso lale inya bala teng screen o tomba yita kang yaje ko police le wole fo ye sartol mel fo ye killing beje and I am reading it for you ako that the album launching must be done within the spirit and the provision of the Public Emergency Act declared by the President to prevent coronavirus, that you shall be responsible in providing face mask and hand sanitizer.
Always as artist, I'm an artist in the Latimodo, so I have management. So I take a cool man for your old man, Oboy la concerned, the one who management la concerned. If you see the letter, it's not like Oboy the letter sign. So that is not my part. But what I can advise my team, Maxwell Sang, Yamabaka, and we did that. Like we spent a lot of money about Max School in centralized school, in Pifankasi. So, but Kakaito Jube or Fenko New or Fenko, I think management also are in to listen jam no because tell focus in luncheon, I'm focusing in so that's not my order man cannot part that. So I cannot answer that.
Well, comment to Janibi na wala birin line no break ta mba fokang. Nko mansaka kudol kele tumando ba kamo dundi problemo kono ma foko wole be kela. But if you see no le afoko yelwa bruka iko ele social distancing ke molta je fansol manyin respect. Budung, I don't know what is your reaction to that. It's right there. It's very legit. Number 3 or C on the letter said it, that you shall take full responsibility to make sure that social distancing of 1 meter within attendance is maintained. It will fangole o sefeje and akumata ale o pay attention whether alba kela le falta kela ya fole ko social distancing boga respect no amanta tama Gambia. Oboy's line is getting disconnected. Ajindi Mansa, Ajindi Boyo, Ajindi Man. His song Ajindi is making wave at this minute. His line just got disconnected there. If you are just tuning in or just following us, you are watching the Gambian Talents TV. Oboy is our guest. He's the one we were talking to right there. As you heard, Oboy, I am for J. Alia Moile, I am for J. Woto Ntefenkela nga Ajindi Sambali na Koteke nga Jibe Drong whilst we try to get hold of Oboy again. According to him, his Ajindi song is what was responsible for the revocation of his license. I mean, let's see. What did Oboy say in Ajindi? Let's do it. Let's listen to Ajindi while we try to get hold of Oboy.
Shy
Ila mansana mandoku okejindi. Ila dipite na mandoku okejindi. Anigo fono na mandoku okejindi. Tubabu karande ufunyaro dorong. Kunini uyangal, tamalani monyaete. Saate sumulu nali eja fwe sakembo. Jonkolo nali mantonko mutasumu mekalala. Apao nali mantonko mutasumu metila. Usinga e bujang sambanjai barabay. Saate kelo mambede sambanjai barabay. Alla intwa bukarong ulia dende fala. Pase kunyade je ulia dende fala.
Dike wala down kono 360. Ila kano pen in 360. Pare, Willia, one in fair. Ida kono fanyo limbo modoro.
Nakebe soto bala kona kodo ajindi. Likili vula konye kredigo ajindi. Ninga visit akonye sama ajindi. Na mekano sama da sila.
Jajijo.
Dusu damma yeso kule.
Akelele.
Dusu damma yeso kule. Ina da vela korra da yeso kule. Maka di seri boyo lori nyimfonyo kono.
Na mekano.
Ajindi.
Mekano.
Ajindi. Ajindi.
Na mekano.
Ajindi.
Na mekano.
Ajindi.
Mekano.
Ajindi. Ajindi.
Na mekano.
Ajindi. Ila mansa na mandoku okajindi Duma ila dipite na mandoku okajindi Anigo fono na mandoku okajindi Tubabu karande unyaro dorong Kunin yangal tamalan ni nyaite Sade songolo nali eja fwe sakembo Yonkolo nali mantong komuta sumube kanala Papa o nali mantong komuta sumube kila Usinga e bujang sambanjai barabaj Sade kelo mambete sambanjai barabaj Allah intwa bukarong ulia bende fala Pase kunyade te ulia bende fala
Attended by Oboy, the song that triggered supposedly all this controversy and this discussion that we are having right now. You are watching the Gambian Talents TV, and this is an exclusive that I was having with Oboy right there. As you can see, you know, when we do analysis or when we talk, we try to do it as objective and as independent as possible. Now, I will say I'm somewhat disappointed there with Oboy. I'm trying to get hold of him again. If that is the situation, he posted a letter. They are given a permit by the police. According to Oboy, he's just hearing about this. He went and sat with the IGP. They had a discussion. They had a conversation. But at the end of the day, he didn't know. They were given a permit, and that's all that matters. The things on the permit, things that I am not making up, things that are written on the permit that I just read to him, that I am showing you guys that Oboy himself shared on his social media page. Here it is right here. This is not something I'm making up. This is on Oboy's social media page that he shared 2 hours ago. That was addressed to his management team. As he said, Mustafa Jallo is right there. It's addressed to his team, Julakunda Music, Farato. It's right there. This is coming from the Office of the Inspector General of Police, in which they are telling Oboy that his event that is with regard to the letter he sent dated on March 21st for the subject listing, please be informed that your request has been granted for you to go ahead with your album launching with Oboy and Gambian Child slated for the 9th of April 2021 at the QCD due to comments from 2100 hours to 5 a.m. Please note that the album launching must be done under the following circumstances. A, that the album launching must be done within the spirits and provision of the Public Emergency Act declared by the President to prevent the spread of the coronavirus or COVID-19. B, that you shall be responsible in providing face masks and hand sanitizers, gloves, and to attendants during this period. C, that you will take full responsibility to make sure that social distancing of 1 meter within attendance is maintained. D, that you will take full responsibility of any act or omission contrary to the law as related to the issuance of this permit, committed by anyone or committed by any person or group of persons. Such failure will result to the revocation of this permit and or the sanctioning of criminal activity. Now, let people hear this and hear it well. I was talking about government, but Oboy has a responsibility too. One of you commented and said this could be a bait. Yes, it indeed could be a bait and could be used by government to actually sanction Oboy, to prosecute him or do whatever, just like they did with 3 years Jotna. Most of what 3 years Jotna were charged were not things that they physically committed. They weren't. And I wish Oboy pays attention to that. He said it at his interview with my sister Fatu, that he gave a disclaimer that the song wasn't meant for any individual. Kusi gis sabopa gis nga sabopa momo ya fanjijele nga Oboy moyle ayo fo waxon na lolu. But at the end of the day, and he's not only talking about politicians, he's right that he's not only talking about politicians, he's talking about relationships. If your partner is not doing right, ajinde. He's talking about, different people. If they are not doing right thing, whoever is not doing the right thing, ajinde. Now, politicians, government can always use things against people. They can be very powerful. They can be very sneaky. 3 years, dropped all charges against them and rearrest them and charge them the same charges again. That can tell you how sneaky government can be. And this government, for that matter, they can be. So, Oboy, I hope that you pay attention to these things. It's a law. Yes, it's not been observed in Gambia. These things are not practical. As Oboy stated, he's been to Birkama. He passed by a show that was going on in Birkama and saw how it is. He sees things. Elek ajumala. Dem si juma ñu set naka la mo fessé ngata jamangol to ngata ciojol to Sunday ngata dula kotengol to molbe la kulliyol sotoka molbe la hewol be sotokanne. Everybody you get the same programs. So Oboy, you have a responsibility to look at the permit you are given, to look at the conditions of the permit you are given. If I were you, when I went to the office of the IGP, I would have bargained with him. I would have talked to him. I would have talked to him to actually consider these conditions. I would have brought it to his attention that these things are not possible, that I have fans that are coming there, enthusiasts, music enthusiasts, people that are coming who want to enjoy the concert. If the place is packed, I don't. This is setting him up for failure. They haven't given him a restriction. If it is over here right now until this minute, business is back to normal, semi-normal, not normal, but semi-normal. A lot of places you go to have capacity, quarter capacity. If you go to the mosque, they are open, but they are only open quarter capacity. If you go to the churches, they are open quarter capacity. If you go to the restaurants, they are open half capacity. Not more than half of the number of people who should be there. That will allow for social distancing. Now, if they give Oboy a permit to do his program, and at the end of the day, they didn't give him any capacity. If the venue he's doing it at is, let's say, takes 1,500 people, can they not tell him that you should not have more than 750 people, or you should not have more than 1,000 people to accommodate this? But if they give him a permit and they didn't put any such restriction, and they told him that he needs to follow those restrictions to the letter, oh boy, better look at this. I know his fans and music enthusiasts will be looking at this now, because I have now flipped. And I'm talking about Oboy, and I'm advising him. His fans and music enthusiasts will be looking at it with a different eye. And this is what I always say when it comes to our folks. Just because we like somebody, I have agreed with Oboy being given a license, being issued a license. And that is how I started the show and the things I said about the show. But it is very important that Oboy also follows these things if that's what he is told. If he doesn't, if anything comes out of it, just like I had the guts to come out and show you guys Barrow's pictures, just like I can reference the Luther Gambia Dudem show that I had on the week of March 17 to actually talk about President Barrow and the coronavirus cases and the advice that I made. I am also giving this advice to Oboy. If anything is to happen, if government will use anything, whether today, tomorrow, or in the next year, to actually put charges against him, to actually prosecute him, feel like ñepp dem nak. Fee, la ñepp du dem. Oboy have been having interviews Whole day since this morning, he's been having interviews. He is saying that he's just hearing this, which means I'm the first person who brought this to his attention. The interviews that Oboy was having, what were those journalists asking him? What were they asking him? These are key questions that Oboy should be asked. These are key questions that Oboy should be asked. These are key things that Oboy himself should have asked the IGP. These are key things that he should have been able to discuss with the IGP. But to say that it's not my place, I cannot answer that. Why did he go there? It's not his place. He didn't sign the letter. But he's the one that went to IGP. When I called, he told me he was in a meeting. When I called him earlier, he told me I'm about to go into the meeting with the IGP. Call me 15 minutes later, 10 minutes later when I come out of my meeting with the IGP. He has granted interviews to several media houses. So to say now that, oh, that's not my area, oh boy, that doesn't cut it there. That doesn't cut it. And I hope you follow it, because governments can be sneaky. And this particular one have proven their record in sneakiness. In sneakiness. And I hope you pay attention to this. If agenda is the motive, if somebody else is the motive, something else is the motive, you got to understand it. Providing of face mask, they said it's your responsibility. I mean, whether it's to be given out now, if I were you guys, we'll wait till we get to the door. When people come who don't have face masks, we give it to them. Capture your people on camera handing over face masks to the people. Suru al kafo nyameng. Bul gañ pula yakal ci gaale xaj bum la fekk nga see lekka. Bul bañ kula yakal ci gaale xaj bum la fekk nga see lekka. Kana silo di la. Ibe boyle ka nyameng, ibe fenkele la nyameng, ise tora no nyameng. Hakilo man fen nafa fo mira lote. Xel jeruñu daral dut xelaat. The mind doesn't have any use but to think. Duma len may that nothing. Nothing. So if I were you, I will capture them on camera. My people will have somebody that will be capturing my folks issuing hand sanitizers and face masks at the door. Announce it. On the microphone. Announce it on the microphone for people to try to observe the social distancing. We pray that your event is successful. We want you to succeed. You are a pride to the Gambia. We love you. We celebrate you. But in this situation, I want you to pay attention to it. Even though it's not right, we don't expect them to politicize your song. We don't expect them to do anything to you just because they see themselves in it. As you stated, your song addresses several people. If politicians see themselves in it, so be it. It is not meant for the politicians. You've made it clear and we've seen it. It is going to be politicized by politicians. But we don't expect government to take any action contrary to what the citizens put them there for. We don't expect them to be suppressing dissenting voice. We don't expect them to be doing certain things to the citizens, to be curtailing the rights that Section 25 of the Constitution of the Gambia gives you and to all of us. We are not enemies of the state. We are not enemies of the government. We are not. We are not enemies of UDP. We are not enemies of GDC. We are not enemies of PDOIS. We are not enemies of NPP. We are not enemies of NCP. We are not enemies of NRP. We are not enemies of Citizen Alliance. We are not enemies of Marisok. We are not enemies of Banki. We are not enemies of Kitabu. We are not enemies of any of these politicians. And guess what? Oboy's connection with Kitabu is another thing that needs to be looked at. He is only looking at the agenda song. Oboy and Kitabu, when I interviewed them over 7 years ago, when Oboy used to be an actor, I was one of the first people who actually have exposed these people back in the days, did fundraising with them. My relationship with them goes way back. It dates way back. When Oboy did not start music, that's something that needs to be looked at. This is something that needs to be looked at. before he started music. Him and Kitabu. And this is when Oboy used to say, when I interviewed them, he talked about Gambians not supporting them in the drama, the theater Kamenke. Akonyeko in Mandinka. Pa osialo memunka akonyente barata chip it up. Hanisa inka tonye wolla. Akonye barata chip it up lale. Gambian soul come far fenna. Gambian will become far fenna naman ke chip it up ti. Ye chip it up fonyele afonye fonna jibol fara chip it up la. Hani ita pa osnila transeto chip it up dola. He could even say, keep it up at the time, and I was teasing him on that. This was me interviewing Oboy and Kitabu in 2013 or 14. From there, they needed cameras to do to be shooting their movies. We did fundraising to buy them an ultra mini recorder, which is something that they needed. That was presented to them back in 2017 from our office. We did go way back with them. He did a song. He said it in his interview with my sister, if you listen to him, in which he's saying that he used to follow Kitabu singing. It's Kitabu that used to sing that influenced Oboy. And Oboy did a song that was very controversial with the people in the struggle at the time, those who were fighting Yaya Jammeh. Most of the people who are now, of course, hailing him, those who are praising him, at the time, they condemned Oboy because he did a song for Yaya Jammeh. He did a song for Yaya Jammeh that was very controversial, that almost brought an issue between him and Kitabu at the time. He's gone far. He established what he's established. He brought Gambian child into it. Politicians will be politicians. What I'm saying is fact. These are nothing to be denied. These are nothing to be hidden. These are facts and real facts, things that actually happened. Mba kono le nte manje akono man juxuma ci de dama nek ci biram. If they are trying, we need to celebrate them, we need to support them, we need to give them the conducive environment. What I was getting at is Oboy's relationship with Kitabu. Kitabu has now gotten into politics, and this needs to be looked at. He has formed his own, he's about to form his own political party, to register his own political party. He's going about campaigning. Oboy has endorsed him. This could all be reasons why government is threatened by him. He's only looking at Ajinde. These are all different perspectives. There are a few odds against Oboy. Nimati, mbeng hakilo tulale. Sumadon mom, dina bay sumachen. They are powerful. Oboy is powerful. His video, from the last time I checked it, this video that I was playing, from the last time I checked it, let me refresh again to see how many views it has. When I was starting to play it earlier today, it has 90,000 views. This is just a few hours ago. As of now, it has 92,250 views. That's how many views it has. 92,000, the Ajinde song. It's not a joke. This is in 2 days. It has that many views. So he is a powerful person, and he has the power to influence a lot of things in the country. And he should know and understand how powerful he is. And if I were him, I would not be too complacent. If I were him, I will not leave any room for any ambiguity. I will not leave room for ambiguity. I will make sure that I mafata bunta yep ngadulal be sorong isimuta no dame. But above all, coronavirus is real. Coronavirus is real. It is something that is affecting the society. It is something that kills people. It is something that young people have suffered from. It is something that young people have died from. It is something that put young people to bed, that put young people to coma, that put young people, made young people to be hospitalized. We've just heard of John Seka in Senegal. He died of coronavirus, from what we have been told. It's all out there. A musician, he didn't catch it playing music, from what is being said. Now, gathering this many people, there is definitely a tendency for corona to take place there. Gambians don't respect it. In the Gambia and outside, everywhere, including where I am here, folks died of corona here. Gambians died of corona here in Seattle. So many Gambians contracted corona here, in the hundreds. In the hundreds. In Seattle here. Talk less of other places. Talk less of Gambia. Just a couple of days ago. I mean, I was talking to somebody who went to take his test again yesterday, a colleague of mine, somebody that's very close and dear to me, who just dimbaladon them defa test to see if he's now negative. For the past 14 days, he's been struggling with it. I have several people who contacted corona. It is real and it's in existence. It's happening. Yes, it doesn't affect the youth that much. Do you de tedal abukam patande wanyama? Bari nsa soto no le nga sawun na alpha alma, nsa soto no le nga sawun na mfama alma, nsa soto no le nga sawun nanyolma. We can have corona and we give it to any of our family members. And as a result, we need to who have underlying medical conditions. We can have corona and we give the corona to our families. We can have corona and we give the corona to our family members. We can have corona and we give it to our elders. We can give it to people who have underlying medical conditions, and eventually it can affect them. And one of the things that are being said by the Center for Disease Control, by the WHO, by the Ministry of Health of the Gambia, are these things that are mentioned for Oboy on the letter. These are the standard things. Wear a face mask, wash your hands, put on hand sanitizer, observe social distancing, avoid crowds. In this case, crowds are not being avoided. Social distancing will definitely not be observed. Oboy said it. And as a result, we need to pay attention to this. What is worth doing is worth doing well. Ni dunia be kafuranga ku jawo ke anente ku jawo ke la ku betoti. Nimbe kafuranga ku beto fana ke anente ku beto ke la ku jawote. Kon nañ leen bàyyi suñ xel. Al nga am hakilo. Al nga kalita hakilo la. The greater good of the country is more important than our individual interests. It doesn't matter now who it is. But it starts with government. If you want to be taken seriously, you must start to act serious yourself. You must start to do serious things. Starting with the president, avoiding crowds, avoiding bringing people together. Have Zoom meetings. However you're going to do it, figure it out that works for you locally, that works for the country. That works for the country. People have been achieving so many things without going to meet physically. We are in an era of technology, and there is so much that government can do. I've seen artists launch their albums online. People paid to watch it. It cannot work in Gambia. I know that is what will be said. Yes, because people don't have access to technology. People don't understand technology that much. People don't have the sophisticated devices that can actually be used to do these things. And I'm saying people because I'm talking about majority of the people. But I've seen artists launch their albums virtually, and people paid to come and watch it. I've seen artists do several things. I've seen concerts happen. I've seen festivals happen, virtual festivals, and people attended. In fact, more than what would have come. I've seen students go online classes and they finished and graduated. So it's very important that we pay attention to these things. It's been a while I didn't come on air. To have done 2 hours is definitely something. We'll end it here. It was a pleasure having all of you or hanging out with all of you today and talking about the things that are happening in our country. Lutax Gambia do dem show, dinañ ko indi wat ak ñoxobay show. Time has not been on my side because I have a lot of projects and things that I'm working on. Today, I just got the inspiration and thought that this is something that cannot be left to go like that. We need to do something about it. We'll continue to analyze these things. We'll continue to do what we do. You already know how passionate we are with this. You already know how independent Gambian talents can be. When we talk, when we do things, we don't follow our sentiments or look at what the people or the person we're dealing with want to hear, but we just do what we think is right. Menyanta nka nyati le wala kon ku def lu right nga selendi ku def lu wrong nga jindi ay jippo loolu la Oboy wax. Thank you for watching this special interview with Oboy. I hope you enjoyed it. I wish we had more time with him. I will try to schedule another special interview with Oboy where we can talk about these things specifically and exclusively after his album launching, and we'll try to also bring you some other content. We will be at Oboy's album launching tomorrow. To cover it live, follow us on our YouTube page and our Facebook channel. This is Pa Usman Diouf with the Gambian Talents TV. Thanks to my team and the Gambia in the Gambia under the leadership of Fatsamba and Ida Kebe. Till we come your way at the time, let's listen to and watch again.
Shy Boy Production.
Ila mansa na mandoku oke jindi. Ila dipite na mandoku oke jindi. Ani gofono na mandoku oke jindi. Tubabu karande ufunyaro dorong. Kuninu yangal tamalanne mo nyaete. Sade sungulu nali eja fwe sakembo. Yonkolo nali mantong komuta sume kanala. Apa o nali mantong komuta sume tila. Usinga e bujang sambanjai barabaj. Sade kelo mambete sambanjai barabaj. Allah intwa bukarong ulia dende fala. Pase kunyade te ulia dende fala.
Dike wala daw kono 360. Ila kano benin 360. Pare wuli ya wani fe. Ida kono fanyo limba modoro.
Nake beso to bara kona kodo. Likili vula konye krediko. Ninga visit akonye sama. Na mekano sama da sila.
Jajijo.
Dusu dama eso kule.
Akenenele.
Dusu dama eso kule. Ina da vela korra da eso kule. Makali seri boyo lori nyimfonyo kono.
Na mekano.
Jinni.
Nimekano.
Jinni. Jinni.
Na mekano.
Jinni.
Na mekano.
Jinni.
Nimekano.
Jinni. Jinni.
Na mekano.
Jinni. Ila mansa na mandoku oke jindi. Duma. Ila dipite na mandoku oke jindi. Ani gofono na mandoku oke jindi. Tubabu karande ufunyaro dorong. Kuninu yangal tamalanne mo nyaete. Sade songolo nali eja fwe sakembo. Yonkolo nali mantong komuta sume kanala. Apa o nali mantong komuta sume tila. Usinga e bujang sambanjai barabaj. Sade kelo mambete sambanjai barabaj. Allah intwa bukarong ulia dende fala. Pase kunyade te ulia dende fala. Ajindi. Mutakala.
Shy Boy Production. Naga jindi rolela.
Ila mansa na mandoku oke jindi. Ila dipite na mandoku oke jindi. Ani gofono na mandoku oke jindi. Tubabu karande ufunyaro dorong. Kuninu yangal tamalanne mo nyaete. Sade sungulu nali eja fwe sakembo. Yonkolo nali mantong komuta sume kanala. Apa o nali mantong komuta sume tila. Usinga e bujang sambanjai barabaj. Sade kelo mambete sambanjai barabaj. Allah intwa bukarong ulia dende fala. Pase kunyade te ulia dende fala.
down on 360. Ila kano pen in 360. Party, William, one in fair. Ida kono fanyo limba modoro.
Nakebe soto bala kona kodo. Likili vula konye kredigo. Ninga visit akonye sama. Na mekano sama da sila. Dusu dama so cool. Dusu dama so cool. Ina da fela korata ko so cool. Makadi seri bo lori nyim ponyo kono.
Na mekano
Jinni.
Mekano
Jinni. Jinni.
Mekano
Jinni.
Mekano
Jinni.
Mekano
Jinni. Jinni.
Mekano
Jinni. Ila mansa na mandoku oke hindi Duma ila dipite na mandoku oke hindi Anigo fono na mandoku oke hindi Tubabo karande unyaro dorong Kunin yangal Tamalan ni ngoyaite Sade sungulu nali eja fwe sakembo Yonkolo nali mantong komuta sumube kanala Papa ho nali mantong komuta sumube tira Uzinga e bujang sambanjai barawai Sade kelo mambede sambanjai barawai Allah intwa bukarong ulia bende fala Pase kunyade de ulia bende fala
Welcome to Gambian Talents Promotion, the Gambia's first non-profit online public broadcasting network and home of culture and entertainment. At GTP, we bring you the best of Gambian creativity right to your doorsteps. Sell your products and services to millions of Gambians and friends of the Gambia via our online radio, TV, and newspaper. Advertise your business and watch your clientele grow like never before. Our content from the Gambia gets the diaspora hooked up to our screen, whilst those in Gambia love what we bring for them from afar. This gives us a unique edge and separates us from the rest. If you want to be heard or seen by the world, contact GCP. We tap, nurture, and promote Gambian talents and businesses. Think promotion, think GTP. For all your event coverages, religious gathering, naming ceremonies, weddings, documentaries, music videos, TV and radio commercial, and more. We also do design and print jobs of all types, logos, business cards, brochures, flyers, t-shirts, coffee mugs, banners, billboards, catalogs, and magazines. We also do lamination and projector rentals. We are the first Gambian non-profit online public broadcasting network with over 300,000 active followers across all social media. Contact GTP on 750-3654 750-3654 or 794-9214 794-9214 404-593-6215 or email us at gambiantalents@gmail.com. GCP, the people's power.
Seminar Star di African Plus bu ñepp doon xaar képp ko bëgg sa taar wala bëgg sanse buy bëggal sa xol dawal foofu ca Seminar Star amal nañ leen lii di organic and body hair oil, soap for hands and smooth face, whitening soaps, waaye tamit amal nañ leen lii di hair spa cream for face and body with no chemicals, all natural. Wow, all natural laa leen wax de xanaa li neex na ba noppi waaye nag emuñ foofu rek ma ne xéewal day mat moo tax nag ñu amal leen lii di African clothes amal leen lii di baby carrière di mbootu ma ne ana yaay neene yu baax yi daw si leen gaaw amal nañ leen tamit lii di turban hats bonnet fancy face mask képp koo xamante ne nag bëgg nga am ñii di Semina Style mun nga leen a contact si seen email adresse bi di seminastyle@gmail.com wala nag foofu di seen website bi di seminastyle.com bagage yu yaañ yii nag amul ci benn African country jamono juñ toll nii waaye nag am na ci European countries yi ak American countries yi pour bégal sa xol rafetal sa taar dawal foofu si Semina Style rafetaay yépp ay feeñ
taka kodo mutaka bonang UK, Europe, USA, Canada, Switzerland ani nyimbanku tomal mu meto. Supersonics le itadulate. Anada di masanje jama Gambia bankokam ise kodo tanole ibe dawo da birin karton fokoina andung batatije. Hade batatije ise kodo tanole ka bonam bantala bankol to birin UK, Europe, USA, Canada, Switzerland ani nyimbanku tomal mu beto na doku sone yata atariyata akoita andung allan yata Gambia bankokan Supersonics le dinkiral siyata katambinyin tomal mu meti Supersonics be banku tan sabani nani le to fota findu bankol to dung ila Google Play Store to wala ila Apple app sign ye Supersonics la money transfer app o download pour que ifa munafang na service la
African Oriental Store Africa fii si biir America ñu ngi leen fi amal seasoning ak lépp loo leen nam ma biir Gambia diwtiir ak bagage ndekki yi ngeen soxla can beef African Oriental Store andil na leen ko si seen heavy boti ba tey it amal nañ leen netetu gerte noflaay yéet ndawal African Oriental Store nag mooy bitik bi nga xam ne lépp loo leen soxla mi ngi si biir amal nañ leen maalo leket tame inde addi cuuraay waaye it fàttewuñ suñ góor yi nga xam ne ni den tële seen néegi sëy yi African Oriental Store indi na leen garab goo xam ne ni dina leen delloo seen kàttan ba tey it ñu ngi leen amal abaya dàll abaya boo munti xalaat bu jigéen ñu ngi ko fi am waaye it fàttewuñ góor ñi amal nañ leen xaftaan ñi amal nañ toobaan cuuraay African Oriental Store nag bagage yi nii fépp foo nekk si biir Canada bi ak US di nga ko mun a am ndaxte ñu ngi leen amal shipping African Oriental Store Africa si America fii si Everett Washington njaaxare jeex na SB Printing and Design dama bëgg ngeen jox ma noppa bu baax bi yéen ñi nga xam ne ni di ngeen am seen këri ees yéen ñi nga xam ne ni di ngeen am ay boutique wala ay salon wala lépp li ngeen xam ne ni méngoo na ak wàllu peinture ak design jokkoo leen ak ki nga xam ne ni moom mooy uyo si Seeku Bojang xarañ lool si liggéeyam xam lu muy def mun ko te di ko def ak SB Printing Design lépp loo leen na ma si xeetum design paint and everything li ngeen soxla si seen boutique seen néeg seen këri ees yi dama ne jokkoo leen ak moom si 331 3415 331 3415 nekk foofu sa Serekunda ci Kistown jokkoo leen ak ñi nga xam ne ñoom ñooy SB Printing Design ñu designal leen ba seen xol sedda li sedda sa xol ñun loolu moo ñu soxal ak SB Printing Design taaral sa kër taaral sa dëkkuwaay